Hello everyone. I will recap the latest animes on this channel and share my opinion on them to dedicated anime fans like you guys. Today let's go through the anime Peach Boy Riverside. The anime starts off with a girl named Sally meeting a demi-human named Frau who had collapsed in the forest from hunger. Sally gives her some carrots and she decides to follow her. The two of them then proceed into a nearby village. But at the entrance they meet one of the villagers who refuses to let Frau in because she is a demi-human. So, they leave and later sneaks back into the village. They meet the village elder who offers them a room to stay for the night. After dinner the village elder tells Sally about the ogre killer who came to save their village from ogres. In the morning, the village is attacked by an ogre. Sally's ogre-killing power, which is the Peach Boy, begins to awaken. The ogre is killed by Frau. But the villagers ask them to leave because Frau is a demi-human. On their way out of the village, they are arrested by knights and put in a cell. But they are later released by the leader of the knights. He introduces himself as Hawthorne Gratter. He tells them that they were arrested because of a misunderstanding, so they are free to go. Outside the town, two ogres are planning to attack. They are called Maki and Set. Maki blasts a beam from her right eye through the wall of the kingdom, allowing Set to intrude and attack. Because of the attack Maki used, she shrank into a child. Frau tries to protect Sally by fighting Set, but she is easily defeated. Sally awakens her Peach Boy powers, cuts of Set's arm and then kills him by cutting through his chest. Outside of the village where Maki is still waiting in her shrunken form, she meets Makoto. Makoto also has the power of the Peach Boy, which allows him to easily slay ogres. He fights with Maki after waiting for her body to recover and easily defeats her. He is about to kill her, but for some reason reconsiders and only cuts of her horn, leaving her powerless and unable to use her ogre powers. Cutting off her horn also means that now, she is neither an ogre nor a human. After she is defeated, she is imprisoned. Sally learns that Maki is going to be executed, so she breaks her out of prison. Just as they are about to leave walls of the kingdom, Hawthorne crosses their path with a horse, but is easily dealt with. The moment they leave the kingdom, it all turns to ashes. This is the work of Sumenki, a high-ranking ogre. He is about to kill Sally and the others including Maki, but Sumeragi tells him to retreat through telepathy. In the forest, Sumeragi, a man dressed as a father, issues an ogre gathering. He informs the ogres of the Peach Boy's presence. Sumeragi also tells them that Maki has been killed and Todoroki, who is apparently in love with Maki, swears to kill the Peach Boy to avenge Maki's death. After Hawthorne's kingdom is destroyed, they head to the next nearby town to recuperate. In that town they meet one of Hawthorne's junior knight. He tells them that he survived because a witch teleported him into the forest before the kingdom was wiped out. Hawthorne seems to know the witch, so Sally asks him to take them to her. The name of the witch is Winnie, the witch of the Western Forest. Sally pleads with Winnie to teach her how to use magic. After some persuasion she agrees. During Sally's training, an elf leader and the leader of the lizard men approach Winnie and asks her to release the seal she put on the tree ogre so that they can defeat it. Winnie heeds to their appeal. The next day, as Winnie is releasing the spell, the hare ogre Millie appears. She had already awakened the tree ogre. As they prepare to battle the tree ogre and Millie, Sally proposes that they should try and get along. The tree ogre tells Sally that ogres and humans can never get along because ogres are born to hate humans. He also tells Sally that her Peach Boy power alone proves that humans and ogres can never get along. The tree ogre then attacks Sally. Sally knocks out Millie and kills the tree ogre. After the fight, Sally decides to stop the training and continue her journey. She explains that with the power of the Peach Boy, ogres will keep coming after her. Therefore, she doesn't want to involve the Western Forest and its inhabitants. They then continue into the next kingdom. Upon arrival, a vampire who is a high-ranking ogre is currently feasting on the blood of the residents of the kingdom Sally and her companions have just traveled into. The vampire is an acquaintance of Makey's. Makey goes to see him and asks him to do her a favor, which is to kill all the humans in the kingdom for being discriminate towards Frau. The vampire decides to kill Sally too, but Makey disagrees. In the middle of their disagreement, Frau arrives and begins battle with the vampire. The vampire defeats Frau by drinking her blood and blowing her up. At that moment Sally arrives as she sensed the vampire with her Peach Boy power. She punches the vampire in anger. The vampire can control blood, but it doesn't work on Sally, so he uses it on her clothes, which binds her. Frau resurrects after meeting an angel in the afterlife. Frau awakens some of her powers and easily defeats the vampire in one strike. After that, she blacks out. Hawthorne decides to participate in a fighting tournament to win the prize money. Meanwhile, Millie, who fled after the battle, comes into contact with Makoto. She got amnesia after into the fight, so Makoto takes her in because she doesn't remember she is an ogre. They travel to the next kingdom. On their way they are attacked by a middle-ranking ogre. He has been sent to bring back Millie. At that instant, Millie remembers her identity, so Makoto tells them that they should fight and after, he would slay the winner. Millie knows she would be killed either way, so she removes her horn. This means she is no longer an ogre, so Makoto protects her. The middle-ranking ogre flees because he realizes he is no match for Makoto. In the next town, Sally meets Makoto at the tournament. She had been looking for him all this time. Apparently, he is low on money. Millie is the one participating in the tournament to win them the prize money. She easily knocks out her opponent in the first round. The next day, Hawthorne wins his match again. Outside of the match arena, Sally meets Sumeragi. He introduces himself and tells Sally that he is on her side because he also wants humans and ogres to live in harmony. At that instant, Makoto appears ready to kill Sumeragi. Makoto offers Sally to take his side, which is to kill all ogres. Sally is beckoned to choose between Sumeragi and Makoto. Sally chooses Makoto, but he runs away saying Sally shouldn't choose him. Sally wants to bring about harmony, but Makoto just kills because he hates ogres. As the two are in the middle of their dialogue, Todoroki, the lightning high-ranking ogre, attacks the kingdom with the intention of killing the Peach Boy. Todoroki attacks Hawthorne thinking he is the Peach Boy. Todoroki attacks with lightning strikes, but Hawthorne dodges all of them, corners Todoroki and knocks him out. Todoroki gets back on his feet furious. He goes berserk and uses power called Raijin Ogre Thunder. Hawthorne tries to block the attack with a wooden sword knowing he would die. But before the attack hits, Winnie blocks it. Winnie gives Hawthorne a magical sword which she says can cut through anything. Hawthorne fights with that sword and defeats Todoroki by slashing through his lightning. During the commotion, Makoto leaves Sally, who comes into contact with Sumeragi. Sumeragi stops Sally from going to assist his friends in the fights. Frau and Makey are also in the middle of combat. Frau is fighting against the Eagle Ogre. Frau is on verge of losing, but she awakens her powers and serves the head of the Eagle Ogre. As for Makey, her opponent has the power to stretch his body. Makey leads him to the Wall of Kingdom. As he is about to strike, she dodges, which gets his arm stuck in the wall. Makey then hits him with a powerful strike against the wall. After the fight, Todoroki is treated by Makey. When he is fully recovered, he leaves the kingdom. On his way out he meets Sumeragi and confronts him on why he lied about Makey's death. Sumeragi kills Todoroki with a sneak attack. Wow, this man is a real menace. This is a flashback to how Makoto and Sally's journey started. Once upon a time, there was a man, Kibitsuhiko. He was on journey to find his parents after they had abandoned him when he was a child. In the course of his journey, he encountered an ogre in a village. Hiko killed the ogre. Thereafter, rumors spread, and people started asking for his help. He forgot about finding his parents and started a journey to kill ogres. He then thought that if he killed the leader of the ogres, the battle would be over, so he went for their base. He defeated the leader of the ogre island and asked them to leave the country. They agreed to leave. The leader of the ogre told Hiko that after they leave a man called Kishin would come for him. Back in the country, Hiko was hailed as a hero for driving away the ogres. He decided to live in the mountains away from humans because he did not want to involve the villagers if Kishin were to arrive. One day an ogre came to see him. The ogre told him that because he had the appearance of a human, he got married to a human and had a child. But unfortunately, he ate his wife because he couldn't control his ogre urges. So, he asked Hiko to kill him and take care of his child. That child was Makoto. Hiko looked after Makoto and raised him like his son. Sometime after, Kishin arrived and killed Hiko. But before he died, Makoto inherited his Peach Boy power and decided to go on a journey to kill all ogres after he killed Kishin. Makoto first met Sally when he traveled into her kingdom. Makoto helps her get away from the royal guards that are pursuing her. She then introduces herself as the princess of the kingdom. Sally shows Makoto around the village and treats him to dinner. In the morning Sally finds Makoto dressing up and is surprised to see that Makoto is actually a male. She informs him later that she wants to join him on his journey, but Makoto tells her that if she does, she might be killed. In the castle, a high ogre confronts the king. He tells the king that he has come to take over the kingdom. He gives the king an offer to sacrifice 30 people a month to avoid the destruction of the kingdom by the hands of the ogres who are waiting at the entrance of the kingdom to attack if he refuses the offer. The high ogre is on his way out of the castle when he sees Makoto and Sally. He recognizes Makoto and hurriedly goes to tell his companions to abandon the plan. Outside of the walls of the kingdom, the ogres await the high ogre, but on his arrival, he tells them to flee because the Peach Boy, Makoto who destroyed his country, is in the kingdom. At that moment, Makoto arrives. The other ogres do not listen and engage Makoto in a fight. Sally arrives to see how Makoto slaughters all the ogres. After the incident, Makoto begins to leave the kingdom. Sally wants to follow him, but she is too disgusted by the dead bodies of the ogres that she blacks out. A month later, Sally decides to go on her own journey to see the outside world. That's the end of today's recap. The anime has a confusing storyline with a lot of flashbacks, but overall, a good show with decent fight scenes. Please comment below if you have any opinion. Also subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this content. Bye.